Hey, Shalom. Shalom. I can't pull the blue letter up. 1 second. Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First things first, I'm going to give all praise into Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakar Kudash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai for this truth, knowledge, and wisdom, and we give double honors to our apostle elders that are pushing this truth, and you brothers out there on the four corners of the planet Earth that's listening and enduring in these last days. Hey, man, we're at the 2018, the year Karagna. Everything is leading up to the salvation of Israel, man. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that spread out on the four corners of the planet Earth. This lesson was on my mind a couple days ago, but I really didn't. The spirit had it to where it's today, so we just gonna jump into it. Let me pull up the comment board. All right, let me pull this up. As you see the title of the video, comment board. 1 second. As you see the title of the video, it says they're fighting a losing battle. Okay, because what you have today is I was just watching the Apostle, and he was going in on the fact of separation. You know, you got these other guys. They're talking about, oh yeah, we don't believe this, and they leave that. At the end of the day, it truly is about the elect, man. That's why we hope and pray to be a part of that number, man. You know, that's the greatest number to be a part of. Even the opportunity is still a great opportunity. You know, because we're still being able to taste of this beautiful fruit, this beautiful knowledge. You know, getting a taste of brotherhood, getting a taste of a kingdom. You know, the kingdom of heaven is within us. You know, it's the men, women, and children that are set for salvation in these last days. So it's a taste of the kingdom, man. It's just the fact that we adore to the end. You know, that's what we hope and pray, man. You know, we all strive and fight, and in this world it'll be hard on you. The world now is harder on you than anything else with these demons and everything else. Even the Lord trying us, man. You know, it's going to be harder on us than it is the majority of the world, because the world right now is in their comfortable zone. You know, some of the people are starting to feel the pinch, but the majority of the world's mindset is, oh, this is going to go on, it's going to get better, but they don't have no solution for the problem. Okay, that's showing you the Most High has them in a trick bag, a real life trick bag. So I'm gonna share the screen. Let's get into it. You know, I always like to, you know, have a little set the tone of the lesson before we hop into it. So let's jump right into the blue letter and get right into the lesson, man. And shalom to you brothers that are watching on the four corners of the planet Earth. Shalom to you. Lord willing, to edify. Hope brothers learn and definitely look up these scriptures, man, and get them in. Okay, this the first scripture you're gonna read is the main scripture of the lesson. One second. Give me 1 second. All right. So like I'm back. Okay. So first scripture is 1 Peter 3:16. And it says, also, let's go 14. Let's go to 14, the points in 16. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent, that ye may be found of him in peace. And that's what? That's Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay? We give diligent. Okay, what's the word there? Spondizo. Spondazio. Let's let Esau play a little bit.
Strong's G 4704.
Spudazzo. Okay. Spudazzo. Okay. And the word there for it means to hasten, make haste, to exert oneself, endeavor, give diligence. So exert oneself, just like when you run practice laps. So if you're a track runner, you're going to exhort yourself as if you were in the track race itself to get your body conditioned to it. So that's why we exhort ourselves, you know, to push forth effort, man. You know, put forth effort for this. Like we always say, there ain't gonna be camp in the kingdom of heaven. We're gonna be in peace. We're gonna be at rest, man. Putting hell to these heathens and building up the kingdom of heaven, man. Which is the rulership of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay? Exert. The word there for exert, it means apply a force, influence, quality, make a physical or mental effort. So that's what you have to do in this thing. You have to make a physical and a mental effort. And it does get hard. Just like if you're getting ready to run burners, they used to call them. When you run and you first start off, it's all cool. You know, hey, you got some energy, you laughing, you playing. You know, if you in a team type of setting, and then you running on like halfway through, and then it's like last part. Nobody's talking for real. Everybody's sweating. You know, everybody's hoping that they can make it. You know, it's burners, we used to call them when we used to have to run the auditorium. You know, these steps, we have to run up and down the steps. You know, guys start off fast, man. Bam, bam. Next thing you know, by the time the middle part comes and then the last part, they're losing it, man, or they're, you know, not being able to finish the race, man. So it's the same thing with saying, look, exhort yourself, put forth that mental effort, man, mental and physical, because we got to go out to the elements. We have to do certain things and maintain ourselves. That's a part of exerting yourself. And it says, let's go back into it. Over beloved, seeing that you look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. Not saying without sin, but knowing that we put everything out here, man. 2 Peter 3:15. An account, it says, an account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul also, according to the wisdom given unto him, hath written unto you. Okay, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of things in which are some things hard to be understood. So Paul was breaking things down because he was being taught by Yahweh Shai himself in the spirit that others were having trouble with, man. Just like you see today. Certain breakdowns, certain things that are coming from the spirit, men are wrestling against, okay? Because that show you we're in the time of in the book of Acts all over again. We're in the time of the Gentiles all over again. It says also in all his epistles, speaking of them in things in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest. See, they sit on these things, the certain things that Paul was breaking down. These unlearned and unstable people were resting. Okay, let's see that. Understood, unlearned. Let's get to unlearned. Amethyst. Amethyst.
Strong's G 261. Amethyst.
Sounds like amethyst, but it says unlearned, ignorant. So from these other people that's coming against this, from who knows, the you got new kids on the block. They want to come against the truth. They're unlearned and unstable. Instead of be quiet and doing the research and learning, they want to defend a dying doctrine. Christianity is dying to death, man. That was a falsified. It had a good run. Okay, it had a good run. It had a good old run. It held up. It's still doing its thing out there, but it's not in the same word for unstable too. Yep, unlearned and ignorant, man. It had its time. It did what it needed to do. Now it's time for the truth to come out, man. The truth that has been so long without fruit. That's why that said that. Now this truth is springing up fruit because Christianity has sprung up its rotten, decrepit fruit, and you see it on people, man. That's why you see adultery in the church. You see all type of madness. You see sodomy growing in the church. You see extortions. The pastor stealing money. That ain't the house of God, man. It says you shall tell a tree by its fruit. The Christian church, Baptist, Catholic, all that institution's fruit is bearing witness that it's not good. You don't have to believe us. Look at the other side's fruit, man. What have you seen coming out of Israel, though? You seen brothers do what? Take care of themselves, jump into the herbs, jump into the truth, keep the laws to the best of their ability. That's what the fruits of the truth is brought. You got a couple bad apples, of course, because they were never in the truth. All right. It says also in all his epistles, speaking of them things in which are some things hard to understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do also the other scriptures unto their own destruction. So now let's look at that word rest. Starabilo. 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 And it says to twist, turn, to torture, put to the rack, to pervert of one who rests or tortures language in a false sense. So that's what these other guys are doing. They're twisting everything. Oh, they're saying this, they're saying that. Oh, the Gentiles this, the Gentiles that. But if you plainly listen to how the scriptures are broke down through the Spirit, you see that we're not twisting. They're twisting our words from the correct way. The apostles and elders are breaking the scriptures down in the correct way. These other guys are trying to twist and put on a rack. If you put on a rack, that's a torturing instrument. Okay, these scriptures have been twisted, mangled, broke down wrong. Now the true breakdowns are coming out, and guys have a problem with it because what? They had a problem with it back then. Okay, I'm speaking to Israel, but then you got these actual natural Gentiles that are trying to put their pervert mind into the scriptures, and it's not working, man. It's not for you. Like it says, let the blind lead the blind. From vocab, all these other guys, if we are so blind and lost, let us alone, man. Let us alone. Do other things. Go push the ministry to the fullness. Go out there and combat the doctrines and just push the word, man. If you got the truth, push that truth. Why are we constantly in your mouth, man? Why are these other groups trying to come against and say this, and other groups don't want to acknowledge that? Look, great, the apostles, elders have broke down a lot of scriptures, man. Have given a lot of truth to brothers that has not been denounced through the scriptures. It's a personal thing, man. Like it says, it's not personal. It should be business. This right here is for Jake don't want salvation. Man. When you break it down, Jake does not want to get out of salvation because they have Stockholm syndrome. They're more afraid of the light than they are the darkness, man. We haven't had the opportunity to have the light in this dark ass place for a long time, man. There was no hope. I don't know what Jake was talking about, but I came up in the world, man. There was no hope. I didn't see no hope. The Christian church didn't give me hope, man. I just thought, oh yeah, one day just be a pastor, hopefully, and try to teach the word of God and make it into mystical heaven and don't go to mystical hell. There was no hope, man. It was just a dusty thing that you really didn't want to lean on, man. It's like a termite chair, man. The termites done ate all the support out of the chair, and you got guys wanting to sit on that termite chair. It's done, man. This is hope that we have a kingdom coming where we're not going to be oppressed and looked at because of the way our skin color and diminished and held down by the same society we pay our taxes to, man. Apostle Gabar made the video about them reparating us with slave notes, man, with bondage notes. That's not reparations. Like I said that through the Spirit. I don't want no reparations. I want you, man. I don't want your money. I don't want your gold. And so I want you, man. I want you to feel how it felt to lose loved ones to a nation that gave nothing about you, man. Huh? How it feels to be raped, robbed, and murdered and destroyed as a people. That's the only way these nations will feel what we feel. That's why the other nations, after that 1,000 years, they're gonna get their land. But Esau, hey, that's it, man. That's it. Let's go on to another precept. This is Jeremiah 23 and 36. It says, "In the burden of the Lord shall ye mention no more." See? It says, "In the burden of the Lord shall ye mention no more, for every man's word shall be his burden." So all these guys, you have to tote that. That's another sit down. Every man's burden, he's gonna have to carry. You have to carry Cesare all the way to the finish line. You're gonna have to carry Hare Krishna all the way to the finish line. Don't get right at the finish line and throw it off and try to grab somebody else's burden. No, every man's word, they're gonna have to be accounted for. You have to lean on that, man. You have to see if so-called the white meat Cesare, a Serapis Christus comes and saves you, man. And it says, "In the burden of the Lord shall you mention no more, for every man's word shall his burden," it says, "shall be his burden, for ye have perverted the words of the living power, and the Lord of hosts our power." So that's what these other nations have done, and 2/3 of Israel. They perverted the words of the Lord. Now the true understanding is coming out, and they want to re-pervert it, man. They want to throw their madness onto the fire, onto our light. That's why it says, "Let thy light shine before men." We ain't having it, man. They had their chance to so-called rule in wickedness. Now it's time for the truth of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to come out to the forefront, man. It's time, man. Verse 37, "Thus shalt thou say to the prophets, what has the Lord answered thee? And what has the Lord spoken? But since ye say the burden of the Lord, therefore, thus saith the Lord, because ye say this word, the burden of the Lord, I have not sent unto you, saying, ye shall not say the burden of the Lord." That's why we don't take this as a burden, man. That's why Yahushua said, "What? My yoke is easy." Because it's easy to us, man. You other guys, you got to carry the lives of all the people you lying to. You got to carry the knowing that you added unto the scriptures, you took away from the scriptures. You got a heavy load, man. You got a heavy load when you distort the word of the Lord, man. You distort the word of the Lord. You got a burden because you got blood on your hands, man. You have to answer for every single person that so-called listened to you and was destroyed behind your false doctrine. That's why it's a heavy burden, man. Why do you think the apostle elders take this so seriously, man? And the brothers on down, because this is something that we got to tote, man. And it's not saying tote as a burden, tote as, look, we teach another man, like the brothers that come and listen to me. I want to make sure I'm giving the best I can when it comes to these scriptures, because I'm not trying to go off, man. Brothers ain't trying to go off because we know the fear, man. We might sin in our lives and do, we're in the flesh. But when it comes to this doctrine, we make sure we're concrete solid. That's it. Anything else is uncivilized. But when it comes to this doctrine and this truth that we push to other people, other men, we make sure it's solid, man. All right. So I think that hits the point, man. I don't want to get too long into it. It's just a quick thing. Lord willing, I'll do a part 2, But I just wanted to bring that out and say, hey, they fighting a losing battle, man. Okay. We already won. The spirit is on our side, man. So with that, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakar, Kudash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai for this truth, knowledge, and wisdom. And Shalom, keep faith, keep fighting. We almost there, man. Shalom.